CPN Maoist Center and CPN Unified Socialist, which are opposed to the American Grant Assistance MCC Nepal Compact but want to save the coalition, continue to explore options so as to achieve what they want, ratification of the grant agreement without breaking the alliance. Now, according to leaders, a draft on interpretive declaration is being worked out, which they could attach with the compact ratification document. Good morning, I am Praram Vadahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Parties in the ruling coalition near consensus on ratification of the MCC and sustaining the alliance. Preparations underway for ratification with an interpretive declaration. The government yet to fulfill its pledge of providing 10,000 rupees to the families reeling under the poverty line. Businesses evade over 4.88 billion rupees through tax rebate. Western allies to expel key Russian banks from global SWIFT system. Ukraine vows to fight on. Long queues at ATMs and gas stations as more people try to leave the country. And Real Madrid go 9 points clear at the top of the Spanish La Liga. Bayern Munich also extend the gap at the top of the German Bundesliga. Now, ruling coalition parties have neared consensus on sustaining the alliance and ratification of the MCC Nepal Compact. Now, CPN Maoist Center and CPN Unified Socialist have agreed on a draft on interpretive declaration, which they could attach with the compact ratification document. Before this, with the political parties firmly divided on the issue of the US-funded MCC Nepal Compact, largest party of the alliance, Nepali Congress, had expedited dialogue with the main opposition, CPN-UML. A talk billed as decisive between Congress and UML, however, ended without a headway. With the two ruling parties, Maoist Center and Unified Socialist, reluctant over MCC ratification without amendment, Nepali Congress had initiated talks with the opposition. The high-profile meeting at leader KP Sharma Oli's Balkot residence saw the participation of Senior Vice Chairperson Ishwar Pokhrel, General Secretary Shankar Pokhrel, Vice Chair Bishnu Paudel, and Deputy General Secretary Bishnu Rimal representing the UML team. Likewise, the Congress team had the participation of Vice President Purna Bahadur Khadka, General Secretary Gagan Thapa, and Minister for Communications and Information Technology Gyanendra Bahadur Karki. Both the sides, however, stuck to their stand as they failed to reach a consensus. On the issue of the House Speaker, Nepali Congress had said that the agenda could be discussed once the parliamentary obstructions were cleared. The UML, on its part, wanted a decision on the Speaker first. Earlier yesterday, the meeting was billed as decisive to build a consensus on the MCC, which the ruling Nepali Congress has been trying to have a parliamentary seal, while the main opposition, CPN-UML, is trying to use the MCC agenda as a stepping stone to split the ruling coalition and usher into power itself. With the consensus remaining elusive, another round of meeting by including Prime Minister Dewa and Opposition Chief Oli did not materialize. Meeting of the House of Representatives scheduled for today is to hold discussions on the MCC Nepal Compact. A possible schedule for today's meeting issued by the Parliament Secretariat includes discussions on the MCC Nepal Compact. The meeting is slated for 1 p.m. this afternoon. The ruling alliance has remained divided on the MCC bill that was tabled by the government at the Parliament on the 20th of February. Likewise, the main opposition, CPN-UML, has also remained indecisive. Minister for Finance Janardhan Sharma is likely to present the compact for further discussions as per the schedule issued by the Parliament. Speaker of the House of Representatives Agni Sapkota has also called the Business Advisory Committee meeting to prepare the agenda ahead of the meeting of the lower house. The Parliament meeting called by Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Dewa on Thursday, seeking consensus with the ruling partners and the main opposition CPN-UML, was postponed at the 11th hour. The government had announced to provide 10,000 rupees to families reeling under the poverty line as the provision was made in the annual budget. However, 7 months since the start of the current fiscal year, countless families are yet to avail of the opportunity. On the contrary, the businesses have evaded 4.88 billion rupees through the provision of tax rebate. Ramagya Paswan of Bara Kalaya sub-metropolitan city used to travel to different places during the pre-corona days and work on daily wages. However, since the start of the pandemic, finding works has been hard to come by, while he is yet to receive any compensation or welfare amount from the state. Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma earlier this year announced of providing 10,000 rupees of welfare amount by the National Festival of Dasai. Paswan also reached the ward office and applied for the welfare amount. However, he has yet to receive any money already provisioned in the budget. Paswan is just a representative case, and there are many others like him who have been compelled to return empty-handed from the government office. Even as the underprivileged have not been able to reap benefit out of the budget provision, the businesses in the country have made most out of the government provisions. Industrialists and business groups have availed of tax rebate, citing slack transactions amid corona crisis. Business firms transacting between 2 to 5 million annually have received a tax waiver of 390 million rupees. Business firms transacting up to 10 million rupees have received a tax rebate of 1.53 billion rupees, while hoteliers, cinema house, transport and airline companies have been granted a tax waiver of 1.04 billion rupees. In the country that is exercising federalism, the policies in favor of the upper class and work against the downtrodden communities don't suit the aspirations of establishing a socialist state. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the local residents in several provinces regarding their opinion on measures to ensure effective information technology classes in schools. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
प्राविधिक पूर्वाधारहरू निर्माण गर्न जोड दिनुपर्छ
इन्टरनेटको सुविधा लाउनु पर्यो
राज्यले चाहिँ दक्ष जनशक्ति उपलब्ध गराइदिनु पर्यो
कम्प्युटरको व्यवस्था गर्नु पर्यो
बत्तीको व्यवस्थापन गर्नुपर्छ
इन्टरनेटको एउटा राम्रो पहुँच गर्न पर्छ
टिचरहरू अलि दक्ष युक्त नभएको जस्तो लाग्छ
दक्ष प्राविधिक शिक्षकहरू राख्नु पर्यो
सिप युक्त शिक्षकहरूको चाहिँ व्यवस्था हुनु पर्यो
उपकरणको उपलब्धता हुनु पर्यो
प्र्याक्टिकल क्लासहरुमा फोकस गर्यो भने चाहिँ राम्रो हुन्छ
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what should be done to improve vegetable produce and decrease import? Your options are A. Grant for farmers, B. Control import, and C. Discourage middlemen. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and then send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. We now move on to the sports news.
Sports News.
Machindra have defended the Martyrs Memorial A Division League by remaining undefeated during the entire season that concluded yesterday. In the last league match of the season, Machindra chalked out a 2-1 win over Armed Police Force in an enterprising encounter. In the match played at the Dashrath Stadium, Abhishek Gurung put Machindra ahead just before the breather. In an action-packed match, APF came back with an equalizer midway into the second half. Pradeep Lama scored a beautiful goal of a Mani Lama assist. This was the first goal conceded by Machindra skipper Vishal Shrestha in 12 matches. Machindra struck again in the 81st minute. This time the goal scorer was Rajin Subba. Both the sides were reduced to 10 men in the 88th minute following double bookings. Machindra eventually lifted the Champions Trophy alongside a cash prize of 7.5 million rupees. Meanwhile, Machindra's midfielder Sunil Ball was adjudged the player of the tournament, while Machindra's Vishal Shrestha was declared the best goalkeeper. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Parties in the ruling coalition near consensus on ratification of the MCC and sustaining the alliance. Preparations underway for ratification with an interpretive declaration. The government yet to fulfill its pledge of providing 10,000 rupees to the families reeling under the poverty line. Businesses evade over 4.88 billion rupees through tax rebate. Western allies to expel key Russian banks from global SWIFT system. Ukraine vows to fight on. Long queues at ATMs and gas stations as more people try to leave the country. And Real Madrid go 9 points clear at the top of the Spanish La Liga. Bayern Munich also extend the gap at the top of the German Bundesliga. So that is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.